if it's difficult to make a connection to someone, like say they keep walking to north-south, or say they're doing stack passes off their knees, like they just, you know how bigger fellas will drop to their knees, connect their hands and lift your hips off the mat, and you're kind of stuck there a little bit, right? If you can't separate their grip. So I'll kind of feed, or say you're stuck in a stacked leg drag, something like this. I'll kind of feed people this reaction because I'm quite good at attacking from that. And I'll use that as a way to make a connection. Like I find making a connection, particularly to people who have the intention of disengaging in no-gi, is probably the most difficult part, right? Like people's reactions tend to fall into two categories. They're either going to re-attack either with barambolas or crab rides or leg locks, in which case that's actually great for the bottom player because they're making the connection themselves. They're connecting themselves to you. As long as you can defend the footlock, you can climb their back. I think a good example of that is like Levi with Oliver Taza, right? Like Oliver Taza tried to backstep into the saddle, and I think he actually, if you watch it, he actually did backstep into the saddle, and Levi was able to face roll, put his knee on the mat, and use that to enter a barambolo. So with Inacio, it's kind of the opposite, where he's just trying to, not just trying to, like he was trying to pass, but he was able to disengage from my guard a lot of the time past that first round. So I think what my perception of that match was, that first round was like a 1 RM. Like I put everything into getting to that like fucking unit's leg. And I think both him and Victor Hugo, bro, they were like 115 to 120. Like I think they were 118 kilos or something. And bro, when I weighed in, it said 95. I was wearing my backpack, my shoes. Like I walked in, I weighed in. I wasn't that big, you know what I mean? And this sounds like an excuse. I would like to think my game would work regardless. With him, what I'll usually do is I'll let them go towards north-south and I'll attack like a wrong way triangle. You know, I don't know what it's called in other places, but you know, say you're teaching someone to do a triangle on their first day and you'll say like hamstring curl over their neck and lock the triangle. And you would have seen in the match, actually at CJI, Owen O'Flanagan was able to attack like sort of an inversion into a triangle on Andrew Tackett. And then he was immediately posturing out of it, right? Yeah. Like immediately he wasn't even able to like completely lock the triangle. So my solve for this exact problem is to lock the triangle the other way and put your quad over the back of their head because it touches their chin to their chest and they're not able to posture. Because I find posturing to be the most obvious issue with attacking a triangle in no-gi, right? Mm-hmm. So that's usually my solve for that. And with him, he was such a fucking barrel, bro. I couldn't lock my legs. Like it wasn't him disengaging. It was just that my jiu-jitsu just did not work in that situation, right? So I think in his next match, we kind of saw what you would do with someone whose intention is to disengage and then pass with leg drags and north-south passing and things like this. Felipe Andrew had the perfect game for it, which is where he attacked K-guard, right? And then he went to a fully locked 50-50. And you kind of have to accept a shootout. And that actually was something that I intentionally don't do, right? Like I'll either go towards the saddle from K-guard or I'll go to like a matrix back take like Tommy Langica does from K-guard. And that's because I don't feel that I'm as adept at attacking leg locks as other people, or I didn't at the time at least. So I would avoid the shootout altogether. And I felt that 50-50 was, it's like in the name, right? It's 50-50. They can attack you, you can attack them. So I avoided it altogether. But it's such a good strategy for someone who plays like that. So Felipe Andrew did it to Inacio in his next match. And it's exactly this. I've had this problem before and I should have recognized it at the time. I competed at the trials against this guy, Bob Frias, and I had the same exact issue where I would get to the legs and he was able to freeze knee line and disengage. And then Declan Moody competed against that guy at the CJI trials. And it was such an aha moment for me because as soon as he got the opportunity, he put the guy in a fully locked 50-50. And then when forced to play a leg lock shootout with Declan was able to get the better of it, attacking an inside heel hook, right? So I think if I were to do that match again in the future, I would take the opportunity to go to all the way to 50-50 and make sure, or maybe even outside actually, something where they have to stay engaged, and then accept the shootout that happens there. So it's like either they get you or you get them, but something explosive is about to happen, you know? So it's like a good leg locker who wants to engage on you, saddle's better, or attacking the back is better. But then someone who wants to disengage, then a fully locked 50-50. Oh, you know when this happened, man? Is this annoying? Like, sorry to bang on.
No, mate, I love it. Yeah, I'm literally like, I'm just listening. Yeah, it's great.
I was just having a proper jiu-jitsu autism rant. Bro, that was the best joke Craig ever made because it low-key made it awesome to be autistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all right. Yeah, keep going.
You know when Gordon fought Vinny Magalesh and he kept going to the saddle and then Vinny would take height and he would walk backwards into him and he was able to disengage the saddle nearly every time this way. And then cut to, and I think Vinny actually won that match. It was like a rounds based match. I can't remember the event, but it was the same one where Keenan fought Yuri and hit that crazy sort of rolling reverse omoplata. Anyway, cut to Craig competing against Vinny Magalesh and he goes to 50-50 and that was hideous, the outcome of that, you know? So I think someone it kind of demonstrates the difference in those positions. Like Craig was able to put a bend in his leg and as a result, like fully snapped that guy's ankle.